Good morning, dear children. Hope you all are fine. Today we are going to start lesson number 11, Simple Future Tense. We have already studied, there are mainly 3 tenses. Each tense is divided into 4 more categories. So total there are 12 tenses. In the previous chapters we studied about the simple present tense, about the simple past tense, and in this lesson we are going to study about simple future tense. Dear children, the simple future tense is used to refer to the incidents which are expected to take place in the future, the actions which will take place in the future. Dear children, when we want to indicate an action that is yet to take place, is not done, we are not doing it now, the action will take place in the future. So there are several grammatical ways of talking about the future action, and at this level in 5th standard you will be learning about the most common one. That is, the most common one is to use modal auxiliaries shall or will. The modal auxiliaries shall or will are used to express future time, future action. Now, dear children, this timeline will help you to understand it in a better way. Past means yesterday. For example, yesterday. What we did yesterday is our past action. What we are doing now is present, and what we'll do tomorrow is future. What we did yesterday is past, what we are doing now is present, and what we'll do tomorrow is future. And dear children, if I write a sentence, I will visit you, I will visit you tomorrow. Here this sentence tells us the action will take place later, will take place in the future. I will visit you tomorrow. And here the future tense, for making future, the simple future tense, we have used the modal auxiliary will plus the base form of the main verb. And dear children, in this sentence which is given, which is shown through this diagram, someone is making a plan to visit another person. I will visit you tomorrow. Someone is planning to visit another person the next day. The action will take place the next day. Now, dear children, forms we can make simple present tense sentences. What are the structure we'll study now. How to form the affirmative sentences, how to form the negative sentences, and how to form interrogative sentences in simple present tense. We'll study the structure of these different types of sentences in simple future tense. Now, dear children, let us see how to frame affirmative sentence in simple future tense. Affirmative, the positive sentence, how do we make in simple future tense? The structure is subject plus modal auxiliary. We know in future tense we use the modal auxiliaries will and shall, plus the verb in its base form. Verb we use in base form, and then the object or the complement. Let us see this example. Subject is I. Modal auxiliary will. With I we can use will or shall, both. I will. Then verb, the main verb in its base form. Complete I will complete, then the object or complement, my book by tomorrow. I will complete my book by tomorrow. The structure of the verb is always the modal auxiliary plus base form of the verb. So now dear children, let us see how to frame negative sentences in simple future tense. What is the structure of negative sentences? To frame negative sentences, we use subject plus the modal auxiliary will or shall. Subject plus the modal auxiliary will or shall plus the word of negation, that is not, plus the verb in its base form, and then the object or the complement. Subject plus modal auxiliary will or shall plus the word of negation not plus the verb in its base form, and then the object or complement. Let us see this example. She is the subject, modal auxiliary will, word of negation not, verb in its base form attend, the object or the complement the party. She will not attend the party. Like this, we make the negative sentence in simple future tense. Now, let us see how to make interrogative sentences. To make interrogative sentences, we use the modal auxiliary in the beginning. Modal auxiliary plus the subject. Modal auxiliary, the sentence begins with the modal auxiliary will or shall followed by the subject, then the verb in its base form. We use the verb in its base form, and then comes the object or the complement. What is the structure of interrogative sentence? We use the modal auxiliary will or shall in the beginning of the sentence, followed by the subject, then the verb in its base form, and then the object or the complement. Let us see this example. Will plus the subject can be they. Will they, the verb in its base form, will they come here by tomorrow? Will they come here by tomorrow? Will they come here tomorrow? And put the question mark at the end. This is a yes no type question. When we frame interrogative yes no type question, we use modal auxiliary in the beginning. The sentence begins with modal auxiliary. If it is yes no type question, modal auxiliary plus subject plus verb in its base form, and then the object or the complement. Will they come here tomorrow? And always remember to put question mark at the end. And then we already know interrogative sentences are of two types. One is yes no type and another one is WH question. This is the structure about the yes no type question. Now let us see how to frame WH question in simple future tense. How to frame WH question. For making WH questions, first of all we should use WH word. The sentence begins with WH word plus the auxiliary, the modal auxiliary will or shall, plus the subject, plus the verb in its base form, and then the object, WH word, the modal auxiliary verb will or shall plus the subject verb in its base form and then followed by the object. Let us see the example. Where is WH word, where the modal auxiliary will, the subject they, where will they meet is in the verb in its base form. Where will they meet? In the evening. In the evening is the complement, in the evening. And at the end there should be question mark. Dear children, always remember the structure of WH question in simple future tense. WH word followed by the modal auxiliary will or shall plus the subject plus the verb in its base form and then the object or complement. So dear children, I explained you the structure of different kinds of sentences in simple future tense, how to frame affirmative sentences, how to frame negative sentences, and how to frame interrogative yes no type questions and WH questions. I hope you all of you understood the structure, and your work is to go through the definition and the different examples given in your book on page number 47 and the table which is given how to form the simple future tense sentences, affirmative, negative and interrogative sentences. And then on page number 48 4 exercises are given. Try to solve it by yourself for your practice. I hope you understood this chapter. This is a small chapter.